911 Operator is an emergency dispatcher simulator game. You get reputation points and cash for doing well. The better your reputation, the more complex a city you can simulate helping out. At the end of your shift, you can use whatever cash you gain to purchase vehicles, supplies, and staff. While the look and sound are bland, a bland presentation is fine here as the concept is a simulation of a real job, which, frankly, is actually done behind a desk without such helpful visual guides. So, after all, this view is already livelier than it ought to be. But unfortunately, what good there is spoiled by the bugs. You can flat out lose employees and equipment due to a glitch, which sucks. And the final straw for me was when I helped a woman with a kitchen fire, but the game incorrectly thought I'd ignored her entirely by not sending anyone. I clicked ignore after helping her because I'd finished the call, it had ended, the caller had thanked me, and yet the button was still there. I thought, okay, it must mean to ignore the call's final step and to decide not to dispatch emergency crew. I thought it referred to my job as a dispatcher. Ignore sending people. When the game punishes you for a lack of efficiency, wanting you not to dispatch workers because sending them off would be unnecessary, then that's an especially ridiculous bug to encounter. The ignore button hanging around and then being able to be penalized for ignoring a call when you did not in fact ignore it is weird. Given that it has such bugs, I don't recommend it. After playing for about an hour, I lost a firefighter and a bulletproof vest to glitches, which wasn't cheap. I also lost several reputation points due to that aforementioned call, despite my answering every call promptly and thoroughly. I hadn't made mistakes and yet I was getting penalized. The game also wasn't complex in that first hour, which made me dread the idea of how much I'd frustratingly lose to glitches if I played it for several more hours. After all, over time, stuff like that piles up. And frankly, even if the game did work smoothly, then I think it'd be boring. Clicking to send units here and there isn't an exciting job. I thought that the concept sounded interesting, but then I didn't find it to be so when I was actually playing through it. I think that 911 Operator either needs a story and characters to work, or to stick to what the job's actually like, without the gimmick of the dispatcher being able to buy units themselves and whatnot. After all, one of the real-world frustrations of the job, depending on the area of the US of course, is often a lack of funding, which the dispatcher has no control over. Wanting to help people and being unable to due to budget cuts, or just a shitty budget in general, is something that I think could be portrayed well in a game. As it stands, 911 Operator tries to stride the middle ground between game and realism. As a result, I don't think it achieves being either one, a simulator or a game, in a satisfying sort of way. My overall impression was that it just wasn't great to play and then its bugs ruined it. Since it's basically a resource management game, losing important resources due to bugs is a major game-altering issue. It's also one which will get worse as the game gets harder and resources become scarcer. Plus, this game wants to harvest player data which it doesn't need to harvest. I got it for free in an Epic Games giveaway, but I'd be more annoyed if I paid the full $15 price and then got asked for my info. So if you do decide to get it on sale or otherwise, then the ask is probably worth keeping in mind since it is kind of annoying that they ask, but you can't ignore it. However, I don't even like when mobile games do this and I'm used to that. Don't think it's a great thing.